Welcome to the Real Estate Jam Session. Today we're going to be talking about TikTok and why you as a commercial real estate agent need to be using this platform to drive more business. And for that, I've got Eddie Gonzalez. He has been in real estate for 6 years. He's currently with SVN in Arizona. Eddie has been a big proponent of TikTok. He does a lot on Reels. You have 34,000 followers on TikTok and about 16 and a half on Instagram. Eddie, thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
TikTok, it's taken over the world.
It's powerful.
It is, isn't it?
It is very powerful.
Yeah, it's why don't you give us a little bit of background of how you came into TikTok and when you got started on it and just your background with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I started utilizing it for work about 2.5 years ago now. And it was another broker in the Midwest that reached out to me and said, I'm listening to Gary Vee talk about this platform called TikTok. Yeah. Jumped onto it. It was the same thing that I hear everyone else in our age group say. I'm not going to go do these dancing videos. And then I found something called Learn on TikTok, which was a hashtag. And there were lawyers that were discussing things, and there were chiropractors that were discussing things. And then I started finding the real estate arm where residential agents were doing their showings and discussing different things that are important for their clients. And I'm like, this is going to be powerful. I need to just start doing it and be consistent with it. And like anything else, I said I was going to do it and I didn't. So I leaned into it. I posted a few times. And my first post, like that, a lot of people will talk about, oh, my first post got so many millions of views. Yeah, that didn't happen to me. I consistently started doing it and I got 10 views, and then it just started building and building and building. And then it was brought to my attention that I should be hyper-focused on the Phoenix market. So if you watch most of my TikToks, they're going to either have hashtags that say Phoenix or say Arizona, or what my favorite thing to do, Joe, is to utilize zip codes, because no one else utilizes zip codes. So if I put the zip code in, and then you plug into those zip codes, when you hit those numbers, I'm the only person that pops up for the most part. So commercial buildings that are in those zip codes, and then I've trained my followers and I tell other people, just pop in the zip code in TikTok and you'll see information on that neighborhood because of me. And they love it.
That's brilliant. You know, I think a lot of people, is in any social platform, right? The kids start at first and then it starts adopting older ages. So I was looking at the numbers. So most 42% of the people are from 30 to 49. And that was shocking to me. And I always thought it was going to be people in their late 20s. That was going to be it. And they're 20 to 29, I think they're about 23% of it.
Isn't that amazing?
Even above 50 is 11%. Those old farts, 11%.
You know what's interesting about the old farts? And this is what scares, well, no, here's what scares me a little bit, Joe. Okay. Those are the important people to our business, and we don't even know.
Yeah.
We don't know who they are.
Yeah, it's just become such a powerful tool. And, you know, in January, it took over, I think, #1, right? Number one social platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a search engine.
Yeah. That's something. So now, how long ago did you start on TikTok?
You know, I should scroll back and look at the date. I think it's been about 2.5 years.
So you've got that many followers in 2 years. That's impressive. Now, how often are you posting?
It depends, but at least 3 times a day is the goal. And I'll give you my secret sauce, Joe. This is, it sounds like a lot, but it's not. Here is what I like to do. I wake up in the morning and I'm going to read the commercial real estate news anyways, right?
Right.
So I take a screenshot of whatever I'm reading, and you can do a green screen on TikTok.
Right.
The key to my success is getting people engaged, which then helps the algorithm, which then also helps me form the relationships with the people that are following me. So I'll do something along the lines of that Arizona is thinking about changing the rules for zoning. So I do the screenshot, I then have it in my background, and I ask the community what they think about the zoning laws changing. Okay. and I'll get dozens of comments and tons of likes. So you've got
Driving
one post right, yeah, you've got one post right there. The second post, I'll normally do a duet. Now, I don't do this every day, but this is an easy way to get to 3 a day. You do a duet. You're going to be watching a little bit of TikTok anyways. If something resonates with you, you do the duet. That's that. And then the third one is just something fun in commercial real estate that either, hey, I'm reading through a lease right now and I saw this and I thought it'd be helpful for you. Or what people really like is the on the fly stuff. So if I'm out at a site and just do a quick post, either here's what I'm showing my client or here's what I have listed. And the tricky part of it is not selling the product or service, just showing and educating.
Right. Bringing value.
Once you start to feel salesy,
Yeah.
I've tried those posts, it doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you say to people? Because I hear a lot of agents say, commercial real estate agents say, I don't have the time. How do you overcome that?
I tell them then don't do it. And it'll be more
business for me,
and
huh?
Kyle and Aviva and
yeah, you keep rolling your cold calls all day, every day. You know, I was talking with Carrie Bob. She's, as we both know, a phenomenal marketer, right? And you know, she said something that I wished I'd have thought of, but she said that it's a perfect opportunity for somebody newer in the market to become an influencer in a certain marketplace. So, you know, influencer means just taking over that particular market. And I really agree. I think if you really know how to run these platforms, you know, if you got somebody 5, 6, 10 years in the business and they're not utilizing it, you can take a lot of their business away from them. You know, I just think if you really use these tools the way they're meant to be, it can be something, especially TikTok. I wanted to read you just some of the numbers I looked at here, and I have to read it because it's just, I was in shock. It was TikTok users spent 850 minutes per month on the app. That's huge. They now have 1 billion monthly active users as of January of 2022, 3 billion installations, 167 million TikTok videos watched in an internet minute. So we went from being the kid's toy to how do you get noticed? How do you, in the matter of a year or so. So how do you find that how are you finding your people that are following you? Is it just through organic? They find you in real estate?
Yeah, so I actually used a marketing company to help grow my Instagram.
Okay.
And I found that to be a very quick way to grow, but not effective way to do business.
Oh,
so when I started TikTok, I said, this needs to be 100% organic. And I want to do it the right way, and I want to grow it slowly. Now, there were some points where it went bananas, and it would grow a couple thousand people a day. Right now, it just slowly upticks.
Right.
And that's the way I'm going to do it on this one, because it really shot me in the foot. If you look at what's happening on my Instagram, now that everything's pay to play, when I was first getting started on Instagram, I would get crazy reach, just like what's happening on TikTok right now. And now, if I'm not paying for stuff to get pushed on Instagram, it's not being seen.
Right. It's hard. Instagram, it's become tough. But TikTok is still kind of free range. I'm sure eventually they'll probably monetize it and do the same thing. But so let's talk about the comparison between TikTok and I guess Reels is probably a pretty close comparison, right? So you're not having as much luck with Reels, you say, or did you in the beginning?
In the beginning, when Reels was really just getting pushed by Instagram, I was doing, I wouldn't say great with it, but I was doing fine. And they are two different platforms and they behave differently, which shouldn't make sense, but it kind of does. So if I post something on TikTok and then I post something on Reels, you would think that they would perform somewhat similar, but they don't. Yeah. And sometimes the Reels would take off and no real rhyme or reason why. And then on the other side, you've got TikTok that some of my TikToks absolutely flop. And it's just a trial and error. And I wish I could tell you there's an exact science to it, but just some things don't resonate with everyone. And maybe it's me, maybe it's my tonality, maybe it's what I'm doing, but
Right.
there are just some that are like, holy smokes. And you know what I like to watch? You started mentioning time and hours.
Mhm.
I don't know why my mind goes here, but if you're thinking old school commercial real estate brokers, and
Eddie,
you're
be
thinking
careful here because you got a boom box right behind you. A boom
1980s,
box.
baby.
I haven't seen one of those since the 80s.
1980s. And
Good
I have
Lord.
cassette tapes. I have cassette tapes as well. So watch
Oh,
out, Joe.
wow.
Watch out.
Okay.
So I was thinking about this one day, and I'm like, okay, so if I wanted to do a TV commercial, how much would it take to do a 30-second TV commercial?
Right.
And how many people see it? And then I went into my TikToks, because when you go in through the back, you can look and see exactly how many people have watched the video and how much time they spent on the video.
Mhm.
And some of the bigger performing videos, thousands and thousands of hours of watch time on one video.
Right.
So if you just put that monetarily into
Oh,
balance
yeah.
and just think about that,
Oh,
it's
yeah. Yeah.
brilliant.
I was talking to an agent. He believed in mailers last week. I hadn't heard this one for a while. I said, "You still do mailers?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, it works well for me." I said, "Well, how many leads do you get in a month?" He goes, "Oh, maybe one." I said, "But how many of them are now generating revenue for you?" So I probably do 2 deals a year. I said, "Well, how many people, going through the analytics of it all, it was the biggest waste of money that they could have been putting out there when you can go on these platforms, really focus your reach, find the people you want to be in front of and target them instead of this shotgun approach to doing everything." But
Yeah, I talked with an agent recently as well, and she sends out 6,000 flyers a month. And she said she gets a reach, one person reaches out per month out of the 6,000. It's like,
wow. Okay. So now on the analytics, what are you looking for mostly in your analytics? Just
yeah, when I'm looking at the analytics, what my biggest focus is the time watched.
yeah.
I want to know when I'm losing them.
Okay.
And I want to know when I'm losing them so I can correct it and see if I either said something or did something wrong. And some of them you'll get really, so for me personally, I like to keep it to the 15-second videos, unless I'm diving into something on a lease that I'm really talking through. I'll go that full minute, but I've never done a 3-minute video.
Yeah.
But I normally do 15 seconds, and I like to see, okay, where did I lose them and why?
That's smart. Yeah. Yeah. That's those 3-minute ones. That seems like an eternity when you're watching that clock go by. You're like, oh my God, I got to keep talking, or you have to just chop it off. Now, if I was somebody new getting into the business and I want to utilize TikTok, do you kind of what steps should I take to really get going on this?
I wish I would have done this on Instagram or Facebook.
Right.
The process,
Yeah.
the going through the process. So many other people are going to sit back and watch you go through the struggle.
Yeah.
And I wish that I would have, instead of being embarrassed about the struggle, I wish I would have documented the struggle. And I mean, I've got some stories. Like coming into commercial real estate, here's how green I was. When I saw Starbucks on the corner, I thought Starbucks owned Starbucks.
Okay.
But I didn't know shit about shit, Joe. I'm like, oh yeah, Starbucks owns that corner. They own the dirt. They own the built. I didn't know shit about shit. Wait, there's different types of leases. How could there be different types of leases?
Yeah.
So if someone would jump on, be a little bit vulnerable, and share the entire learning process, I think that tons of people would watch.
Yeah.
You know who's really interested in what we do? Residential agents.
Oh yeah.
Everyone wants to learn commercial.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, and here's how I get the call. Hey, this is such and such from residential real estate firm. I've got this client looking for real estate. I want to split this deal with you 50-50. You do all the work. I'm like, wait. Yeah. Yeah. No, and I mean, that's really why we created our YouTube channel, so people can go on there and really learn the business. But, and it can really help people. But yeah, that is something that, residential agents are always going to be a little bit more interested in doing commercial. And, I love commercial because you can really grow a business here. It's really an opportunity to the deal that you do today, let's say it's an office lease and it's, 3 to 5 years, 3 to 5 years, they're going to need you again. Stay in front of them, keep marketing to them. So that's why it's so important to stay in front of people. And these tools, these social platforms are a great way to do that. So now if I'm new, Eddie, how many times a week should I be posting? Do you think every day?
I really would.
Would you?
I really would. And I would recycle. So
Yeah.
I would utilize. Now, here's something also interesting about Instagram. TikTok puts their stamp on all the posts.
Yep.
So I would go to Instagram, go to stories, post your little story or whatever you want to do, hit the save button in the upper right-hand corner before you post it. That's going to save to your phone. Then you can take it from Instagram off your phone and roll it to TikTok. If you do it the other way around, Instagram knows that it came from TikTok because of the stamp, and then they don't share it with anyone.
I did not know that.
Yep. True story.
I'll be damned. And that makes sense. Okay. So now another thing that I get is, where do I come? I can't come up with content. I don't want to, they put all this pressure on themselves to come up with content. Yours is mostly just your daily life, right? Any other ways to come up with great content ideas?
Yeah, you can highlight anything and everything. So depending on what realm of commercial that you're in, there's a guy named Max Fisher that is in the Tucson market that does industrial. He does deep dive analytics into deals on a whiteboard. And it's interesting for me because I'm like, all right, how is he going to underwrite this particular deal and why? And then it's interesting for new people because they actually see what is happening, how's he underwriting it, what goes where as far as the sheets go. And it's super interesting. And he has taken off like gangbusters. Really? I think he's 24, 25 years old. So anything and everything in our world that relates is content.
Yeah.
I'll do silly. This one's ridiculous, Joe. This is absolutely ridiculous. I found a sound which you can overlay sounds on TikToks.
Right.
And there's one that says, hey, you can't park there. And then there's a girl's voice, which the original sound was, there's a traffic accident. Someone was parked weird in the street. The guy said, hey, you can't park there. And the girl's like, oh, you idiot, blah, 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 blah. I will do those once a week if I see a traffic accident. And people in that community go bananas over it. Oh my gosh, what did they do? Why? This, that.
I'll be damned.
Little things like that. So that's the other thing that I really focused on when I set up my TikTok is it's going to be my community. It's going to be my backyard. It's going to be where I want to work versus on Instagram and on LinkedIn. If we throw LinkedIn in there,
sure,
that's brokers and that's nationwide. So I'm going to tell you one other post that goes bananas as well. I do one, and Kyle helped me with the name of it. It's called What's It Worth? So I look at the daily sales. If something's interesting, and normally it's interesting to me, or it's a really big, obnoxious number, some of the $100 million plus multifamily sales that are happening right now. I'll take the drone, I'll do a circle around it, I'll tell some details. Post number one is a teaser. What's it worth post coming up tomorrow. Number two, what's it worth? Here's more details about the deal. Day three, here's what it is worth.
Okay.
People love it. In addition to people loving it on TikTok, people come up to me all over the place now. Gas station, Costco. Hey, I love that what's it worth thing that you do. So it's turned into a thing.
Yeah, it gets people to come back.
Exactly.
That's brilliant. Now, I know we're getting a little long here, so I want to ask what kind of numbers, I mean, how often are you getting a deal off of your social platforms? Because I think so many people say, oh, you're never going to get any business. And I know that we do, our company does, generates a few $100,000 a year in revenue. Go ahead.
When people ask that question, Joe, I truly get 100% of my leads and the communication off social media now.
Oh, it's 100%.
Everything comes from social media. So whether it is keeping in touch with my clients, I'll use the phone, but we spend more time interacting in direct messages on social media than I do actually texting or having phone calls. Because they're looking at stuff that I'm doing, I'm looking at stuff they're doing. Hey, my friend needs this. Hey, I saw that post about the industrial building. Everything in a weird roundabout way comes from social media.
And so no cold calling, just social media.
No, I still do cold calls.
Okay.
But it's not my, so here's the other thing, right? You do, and you do well at what you like.
Right.
I hate getting phone calls, and it just, I don't know, it's not my style. I would rather do this. I have fun with this. I learn through this, and then I share it with everyone else versus being on the phone all day. Our company is very into cold calls. So I still do cold calls, but I don't love them.
Right. Well, I think another part of this, though, Eddie, is that it removes that barrier, right? When you're talking to somebody, you want to know information about a property, and I go on social and I see you, I go, oh, he's charming, funny, all of that. And it makes it a lot easier for me to contact you.
No doubt.
Removing that barrier. And so I think it can be a huge help.
Here's another thing that I like to do, Joe, and I actually just got a deal done because of this, is I'll take the social posts. You can plug them to your phone. So some of the what's it worth stuff, and I'll send that to the neighbors. I'll get their cell phone numbers, go through the normal process, just like you'd be cold calling, but I won't cold call. I'll send them the posts. That way they see the post, and then I'll follow up with a phone call, and it's an instant conversation.
Very powerful. Well, Eddie, thank you for coming on today. This is you and your boombox have been a real pleasure. You still have cassettes, huh?
Better believe it.
All right. Well, records. Do you have any records?
I do not have any records.
Okay. Well, that'll be the next step.
Yeah, that is the next step.
All right. If you guys want to get hold of Eddie, I'll put his contact information down below. And thank you for tuning in. If you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe and give this video a like. Eddie, thank you very much. And I'll be seeing you on the social platforms.
Thanks, Joe.